Hey, welcome back to Whoa Nelly. Today is a very special video. Today I'm going to be talking about why I'm choosing to foster or adopt and just kind of what led me to that decision and why I'm doing this as a single person. There's been a lot of special moments and a lot of special things that have happened to get me to this point. This beautiful room that I'm sitting in is obviously one of them. I feel like there's so many special things that have happened to get me here, and so that's just kind of what I want to talk about today is my why. My why of what led me here and why I'm even thinking about this, and kind of just a little bit more about who I am and what I do. And so anyways, here we go. All right, so if you have been subscribed for a while, you know that I have a big family. I have a lot of siblings, and for a while I did a little bit of videos with them. Recently it's been more about me as I've moved out and moved on. But I do come from a big family, and some of those family members are adopted. Before I get into my whole why though, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of a backstory. So I am the oldest, 10 kids. The youngest 6 of those kiddos were previously my cousins. They were adopted. I think it's been 8 years now, so it's been a while, but they were adopted, and I honestly can't imagine them not being in our family. It feels weird to think that they ever weren't in our family when they talk about things from before they were with us, because some of them still have memories. Most of them still have memories from before they were with us, and when they talk about those things, it always for just a half a second confuses my brain, because I'm like, I don't remember that ever happening. I'm like, oh right, because you weren't always here. So I mean, it just feels like they've always been my siblings. But growing up, I had 3 brothers, and you know, I was the oldest of 4. My mama, she is the sweetest human, but when I was little, she had undiagnosed MS. The doctors didn't really know what was going on with her, but she was still working when I was little, and my dad also was working. When she would come home, she'd be really exhausted. MS can take a lot out of you, so even if you don't think that you're really, you know, even if you feel like you're able to go to work, a lot of times when you work and you have MS, there's going to be days where you can't do anything. That's just how MS handles your body. As the oldest, there was a lot of times that while my dad was at work, my mom would be having to rest, and I would do a lot for my brothers. It was something that just came very naturally to me. I never like really questioned it. I just did it, you know. That was just something that that was just part of my day, and they mean the world to me. And my siblings will tell you that I was kind of like the second mama. And they will still call me sometimes and tell me things and talk to me about things, and you know, I still feel that role in my heart for them. Like I hope they always know, and that I always tell them, you know, they can come talk to me and that I care about them a lot. My younger siblings, it's the same thing. They were adopted, and I just instantly, my heart was like, okay, these are my humans and I love them, and these are my brothers and sisters, and I give them advice. I text them all the time. We're all really close, which is kind of interesting because I am so much older than them. I'm 34 and I'm really close to them, and I care about them so much. And like my little baby sister Gracie, like I'm really close to her. Like I love Grace, and there's no like, it doesn't feel weird to me that I'm so much older than her. Like that's just my little sister, and she's, you know, like the age gap has never made a difference with any of them to me. And I don't know, I just think that's like a really special thing. I'm glad that that's something that I have in my life, because I know that a lot of families, when there's a big gap, it sometimes is hard to have that special bond, and so that's been really special. But because of my siblings being adopted, I also got to hear a lot of their stories, and stories about why they went into foster care, and stories about also things that happened when they went into foster care. And those stories aren't always happy. That's not always a pleasant time. You know, people hopefully who sign up to do foster care are good people and are able to care for kids no matter what their circumstances. but that's not always the case. Sometimes there are people who, you know, are doing foster care that shouldn't be, probably. You know, like, and it's sad. It's so sad what kids have to go through, and it breaks my heart. When I was very, very little, probably like between 8 or 10, and it was back when Oprah was, I mean, I guess she's still on TV, but it was back when she had a talk show in the beginning stages of that. And I remember watching it, and there was this lady who was on there, and she was crying because she was struggling with infertility. And she was talking about how hard it was for her to have kids. And I mean, she was so sad. And I can't even imagine. You know, as an adult, as, you know, a person who really wants children one day, I'm sure that was a hard thing she was going through. And my heart reaches out to anybody who's struggling with that, because that is so hard. But I remember watching her, and I remember in my little tiny mind, I remember just thinking, well, luckily she could still adopt, you know. And in my little kid heart, you know, I was like, that's a good alternative. And I know that that's not the case for everybody. Not everybody is in a position where they can or feel like they're ready for something like that. But in my little kid heart, I was just like, that's lucky that there are kids out there who need parents. And I think it was that moment that really kind of solidified to me that it was, because that was before anybody in my family had really adopted or any of that. I think that solidified to me that was an option, I guess. And then as I grew older, everybody has different life goals, but one of my life goals for me is I always, you know, wanted to get married, and I wanted to have kids, and having kids and the different things that I want to do as a mom and as a family have been things that I've been thinking about forever. And as I got older, and I'm, you know, obviously not married, I'm still single, I just kept thinking to myself, okay, and I had like this little running joke with my family, because they know I really want to have children. And I always just said, you know, if I'm 35 and I'm not married and I don't have kids, I'm going to adopt. And you know, I'm only 34, but that little joke I had with my family kind of started to become more serious. I think last year I got my real teaching job. You know, I'm a full-fledged teacher now. No more school, no more, you know, doing internships, no more of that. It's real now. I have an apartment. I'm really adulting, as you would. And I think it really hit me that I'm now in a position in my life where that could be real if I want it to be. And last year, I remember I was just sitting on my bed. Sorry, I don't want to get super emotional, but I was just sitting on my bed, and I was just thinking about my classroom, and I was thinking about the kiddos that are in my classroom and how special they are to me. And in my classroom is made up of mostly kiddos who are neurodivergent, you know, so there's different things that they're going through, you know. They might be on the autism spectrum, they might have ADHD, they might just have other things going on, and they have a hard time, you know, regulating emotions or feeling accepted by peers or being able to just, you know, be in a general education classroom. And so my love for them is huge. I have this special thing that I do with my kiddos. We sit down in our morning meeting and we do regular things. So we do the pledge, we do the calendar, we talk about how many days we've been at school. But before we do all of that, there is a special thing that we do. And it started last year. I just had the inspiration to do it one day, and I've made it a tradition. So I learned from a long time ago from a psychologist that was working with a kiddo that I had been working with while I was teaching, that if you are like speaking out loud and doing like positive affirmations to yourself, and you're also doing something tactile, so like even just doing this with your fingers while you're saying your positive things, it helps your brain to kind of solidify that, because like a lot of your senses are being stimulated, you know, and it's like kind of driving it home to you that this is real and this is a real thing. So every morning we sit down as our little class, and I have them all take their hands like this. And these words kind of just came to me I really feel like it was from Heavenly Father, because I just feel like it was so inspired. But every morning we, as a class, we say it together, and we do it twice because I really want them to remember. Sorry, my air kicked on, but every morning we say in this class, I am safe, I am loved, my best is enough, and I am enough. And we do that twice. And I do that because I want them to know in their hearts that in my room, I don't care what's going on outside of my room, but in my room, you don't have to be perfect. And in my room, I love you no matter what is going on. No matter if you're kicking me, no matter if you're throwing things at me, no matter if you're telling me that you hate me, I don't care. In my room, I love you. And if you're trying your best, that's all I'm asking. I don't need you to be perfect, and I don't need you to know how to do everything, because nobody's perfect. And as I was thinking about my class and about our little thing that we do, I just thought so much about how there are kiddos who their home is not that place. And my classroom or their school or wherever they're going might be the only place in the whole world where they might feel that. And what's really sad is they might not even have that. You know, they might have a really hard home life, a really hard school life, a really hard everything. And at the end of the day, as a tiny human, as a tiny little person, knowing that nothing you do is ever good enough, or that everything is always going to be hard, and that there's not a safe place for you in the world, nothing hurts my heart more than that. I believe so much that, you know, that every single kid, no matter what they're going through, has so much amazing potential. You know, their kids are funny, and they are smart, and they are inquisitive, and I love being around kids. Like, I could be with adults all day long and come home and need a break. But I mean, I've even done this. I've gone to school and work all day, worked with those kiddos all day, come home and had my nieces and my little sisters over to do nail polish. Like I can spend time with them, you know, like, and I love it. I honestly love it. You know, I mean, I'm not saying there aren't times when I'm not a human and I might not get frustrated, or I might need a break or whatever, but I just feel like, you know, something in my heart just loves being around them so much. And so I think what really clicked for me that day as I was sitting on my bed is that it's okay that I'm not married. It's okay that I'm a single person. It's okay that I'm a busy teacher and that I don't make a lot of money as a teacher. It's okay. If I want to do this and I want to have a little person in my home and I want to help them, and I want them to have a safe place, and I feel like I can make them a safe place no matter how long they need that safe place for until their regular place is safe, or whether or not they stay here forever, that I can do that now, and that that's okay, and that this is the time. And when I realized that, I could not stop crying. I could not believe, like, I don't know. I guess that I didn't think that it was possible for a single person to do it, but I just realized, why not? You know, like, if this is something I want, why not? And so I started that journey, and before I even told my parents, before I told anybody in my family about it, I went online and I just put in the first application. And then I had a meeting with the person to talk about, you know, a little bit about why I wanted to do it and a little bit about myself. That day when I was talking to her, I've never felt so much peace and comfort come into my heart. It was like I knew that I was on the right journey, and that this was a good thing, and that this was perfect timing, and that it was going to be amazing. And I went home and I, you know, called my parents, went over there, I talked to my parents, I called everybody, and I told them, you know, what was happening. And then unfortunately I did have to tell Danny, because he was living in this bedroom that I'm sitting in currently. I told him, you know, when our lease is up, because I knew he was wanting to go to school anyways, I was like, I'm gonna turn that second bedroom into a room for some kiddos, because I'm thinking about adopting or fostering. Luckily he was okay with it. I felt bad kind of kicking him out, but you know, this journey it's been so amazing, and there's been so many blessings along the way that just help solidify in my mind that this is the time and this is a good thing. And I honestly, like, I'm nervous. I mean, I know there's a lot that comes with fostering kids and adopting kids, and I've seen it with my parents, you know, the different things that they've gone through with my siblings, and the different challenges that can come. But I also, just with, you know, doing the work that I do as a teacher, have learned a lot of strategies and a lot of skills to help kiddos who are struggling in different ways. And I'm not saying I know everything, because I don't. And I know there's going to be things that happen that I'm like, oh, I don't know how to navigate this one. But I feel like at this time of my life, I'm prepared, you know, and I have what I need, and whatever I don't have, I will get as I go. And it's just really exciting, and it's crazy that it's happening so soon. And I'm sitting in this bedroom, and it just, this feels like a safe place. And so I hope that when they're here, that they know that in this house, they are safe, and they are loved, and that their best is enough, and that they are enough no matter what. And I am just so excited to meet them. You know, and with fostering, I obviously will never be able to share any information about them or show you pictures or any of that. That's all very, you know, off camera. But I am excited to take you on this journey from my point of view, and the different things that I'm learning along the way. If you're a single person out there that is thinking about this, or has had thoughts to do this yourself, I hope that maybe watching my videos on my little updates on things that are happening will help you in your journey. And I'd love if you've been on this journey as a single person to just comment down below any advice you have, because I'm sure I'm gonna need it. But I am so excited. And on this channel, like I said, it's not always gonna be about this. I am gonna give you updates at least once a month, maybe more depending on what's happening. My regular stuff is just more lighthearted. I mean, life is hard. I make like family-friendly, lighthearted videos typically. And if that's something that you're interested in watching as well, while you follow along with me on this journey, you can go ahead and watch that playlist right here. And if you haven't seen the room makeover of where I'm sitting right now, that video will be also here as well. But yes, thank you so much for watching today, and I can't wait for this journey with you, and I'm so excited to take you along with me on this adventure. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.